Hello, welcome. I'm Jillian, and welcome to the Temple of Remembering, also known as my home. Now, for those who are listening to me via my podcast, this is obviously a little bit different from what I've normally been recording, but I wanted to share it here with you. And if it sounds different as well, I'm actually recording this via video, and yeah, so it might just sound different. I just wanted to let you know. And for those who are joining me here on YouTube, well, welcome. And yes, this is a new platform for me and a way of sharing this information. And it might sound a little quiet, it might be a little fuzzy. The lighting might not be very good. Well, I'm obviously no professional, and I'm not willing to spend a lot of money yet. We'll see. So I thank you for being patient and just compassionate as I navigate this new platform. Newish to me, anyways, in this way. So, anyways, welcome. Welcome to a sacred space. And a sacred space is a safe space. And this is a place where we return to the wisdom within. Some beautiful sisters are lovingly calling this yurt. Sisters who gather with me in the yurt. So they're calling it yurt, which I think is so funny. And I love it. Anyways, this is your moment to reconnect with your spirit, to tend to your inner temple, and to build your relationship with the unseen world that has always been walking with you on this path. So I invite you to just take a breath here and arrive where you are, and let us step into the temple remembering together. Before we enter the first power, which is darkness, let's return for a moment to where our remembering began. In our first gathering, we explained what Mary Magdalene calls the eye of the heart, and the inner sight that sees truth beyond illusion. And I shared the wisdom an elder once gave me. The longest journey you will ever take is from the mind down to your heart. And together, we felt into that truth, that this path is not outward, but inward. We reflected on Mary's question to Christ. Is this a vision seen with the soul or the spirit? And what remains of that answer speaks to something profound. That true sight comes from nous, spelling an N-O-U-S, not the modern idea of mind, but the heart mind, the place where the soul and spirit meet. If our real vision comes from within, then no one outside of us has the power over our truth. So we also remembered too that the 7 powers that Mary Magdalene speaks of are not sins. No, they are human experiences, movements of the soul that we are meant to walk through and not deny. And we also talked about the synchronicities around the number 7, spiritual awakening. And it reminded us that this journey is divinely timed. So before we move into today's teaching on the first power, darkness, let's take a breath to anchor. So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel the earth beneath you, steady, alive, always holding you. And inhale deeply, drawing in the presence, and exhale fully, releasing all your worries. And with each breath, let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your body remember it is safe here. Imagine roots growing down into the soil, deep and strong, weaving into the roots of the trees, into the stones, into the bones of the earth herself. These roots connect us to the land, to the women who have walked before us, to the ones who will come after. Feel yourself anchored here. Not as just as one, but as part of the circle. One heartbeat, one breath, one temple. Take one more slow inhale, breathing in. And as you exhale, feel yourself fully here, grounded, open, and ready to receive. Good. Now, what I'm going to share next is a reflection still and inspired by Megan Watterson's Mary Magdalene Revealed book, and just offering it in my own way. If I were to begin again, to start the story from a place that feels true, I wouldn't begin in the light. I would begin in the dark, in the womb space, in that ancient sacred night where all creation stirs before it ever becomes form. Because darkness is not the absence of something, it is the presence of everything. It is the first holy place any of us ever knew. Warm, fluid, rhythmic, comforting, nurturing, alive. It was a temple within a woman's body. And if I were to begin again, I would begin by honoring the woman whose wisdom has carried us across ages. The fierce ones, the mystics, the poets, the rebels, the mothers of lineages, the mothers of spirit, those who held visions, birthed worlds, spoke truths that threatened empires, and kept the threads of remembering alive when the world tried to silence them. I would begin with the forgotten half of the story, the songs whispered in caves, the prayers hidden beneath stones, the teachings passed from hand to hand, heart to heart, long after their names were erased. And if I were to start again, I would begin with love. The kind of love that Mary knew. The love that isn't sentimental or soft, but is the very structure of the universe. The field that holds us, the spark that animates us, the bridge between the human and the holy. Her love was not passive. It was like a firm grandmotherly love. It was recognition. It was from the inside out. A meeting place where truth could finally be seen. And if I were to begin again, I would begin with a moment that love invites us into the dark. Not to frighten us, not the scary dark created by human fear, but the sacred dark, where transformation begins. The place where something unseen extends a hand, a presence, a call, a knowing. And our heart begins to beat louder because we understand on some ancient level that accepting that invitation means nothing will ever be the same. Darkness asks for us to surrender, not to lose ourselves, but to lay down everything that blocks the truth of who we are. The fear, the defenses, the stories we inherited, the parts of us that cling to the familiar, even while longing for something more. If I could begin again, this is where I would start, in the holy dark, where the feminine remembers, where the wisdom stirs, and where love reveals itself as the path home. And those those thoughts remind me of something from my own journey. Years ago, when I was training in past life regression, yes, as a past life coach, we would practice guiding one another into those inner landscapes. And every time it was my turn, so someone was taking me on a journey, I would find myself in the dark. Not a scene or not a lifetime, not a story, but just darkness. So some of the women grew frustrated, the practitioners that were practicing on me, because they were hoping to have some grand vision. They're like, "Oh, look at me. I was able to take me on this past life journey, and she's found herself in Egypt or Avalon, the highlands, a temple or a battlefield." But for me, it was always the same thing. I ended up in dark. It was soft. It was vast. It was pulsing, it was alive. And the ladies would ask me, when they were practicing on me, they would ask, "Well, what do you see? What do you feel?" And my answer never changed. I would say, it is nothing, but everything. Because that darkness for me didn't feel empty. It felt like a womb, warm, spacious, deeply safe, a place before identity, before form, before memory, a place of origin. And though in my waking life, yes, I fear dark. It's funny, that's part of me. I don't like being in the dark. But in that moment, when I was doing that, when I was in that past life regression and experiencing that past life, I was in the dark, and it felt like I was completely held. I felt safe. It felt sacred, as though the dark itself was loving me. And sometimes the practitioner would offer a tool, and they would say, "Imagine you have a flashlight." So they'd invite me or encourage me to turn it on and then say, "Tell me, what do you see?" And when I turned on the light, I realized that I wasn't alone. And I never did feel like I was alone. The space filled up with presence of guides, of ancestors, spirits, all watching over me silently, as if they've been waiting there the whole time. And it reminds me it was new, the word N-O-U-S, because new, as it has been translated into the mind of the heart, also in French, it means hours, hour. And it's a remembering that we are never alone, even the deepest of dark. So when I read Mary Magdalene revealed the teachings on darkness, something in me recognized it immediately, because darkness is not the enemy. It is the beginning. It is the womb of creation. It is the place where we meet ourselves before the world tells us who to be. And this remembering of the dark, of being held, guided, where I was guided, and where I felt like I was part of everything, also brings me back to a memory when I used to journey. Well, I still journey to Ireland with some wild, beautiful souls, but we used to go to this one spot, and it was called the Cave of the Cats in Rathcrogan, Ireland. And in this cave, they say the cave is the birthplace of Samhain, Halloween, and the very place where the veil thins and spirits cross into the world during that sacred time. So to enter into this cave, it feels like you're descending into a womb of the earth. You don't walk, you slide on your bum inching downward through a narrow stone passage, a tunnel that feels uncannily like a birth canal. It's very unsettling, primal and disorienting, and however, it felt ancient, and our bodies recognized it. We knew we were safe, even though we feared it as well. So the same thing as darkness. And then suddenly, after we're scooching down on our bums, the tunnel opens up into a chamber where you're able to stand. But even then, you cannot see your hand in front of your face. It is pure darkness, but living darkness. I don't know if you get my drift. It just felt so alive. And we would turn off our lights. We had torches or flashlights. And for a moment, we just breathed. We did start singing in song. So I've been down there about 4 times now. And we would offer a prayer. And then we'd just go silent. And we would just feel the darkness. And it really felt like a second skin. It felt really thick almost, and in that stillness, I felt a hand brushing my body, like all over, reaching for me. I felt energy or hands on my face, and we weren't frightened. It felt comforting, and I actually ended up taking a photo one time inside the cave after, I felt this presence, to see if I can catch anything. And yeah, lo and behold, you can see hands in this photo coming out of the walls, emerging from the stone walls themselves, as if the ancestors and the spirits were like what I felt like the ancestors and spirits were there, and you can see it in the picture. And it was just a nice reminder that we're never alone. We have never been alone. Even the deepest dark, they're here. And isn't that fascinating that that the places that look like endings, this darkness, is often the places where we're most held. So my past life journey, I felt like it was part of everything. And even though I was alone, I wasn't alone. And the same thing in the Cave of the Cats, in the darkness, even though it felt like we were alone, but then we weren't. We felt this presence, and it's like the hand reaching out into the dark. And for me, it's a reminder of just trust. So I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought you might find that interesting about my experience with darkness. So I want to share a little bit more of my insight from the book Mary Magdalene Revealed. And, obviously it's got me to, think about what would the world might have looked like if a woman has never been pushed out of the way from the altar itself. And if their voices have been welcomed from the very beginning, mothers, grandmothers, daughters, the ones who have held life inside them, who have held grief so deeply. How different our understanding of Christ might have been. And if we had heard him through the hearts of women who walked beside him, and truly how different the world might have been. So, yeah. One of the teachings I do love most about Mary's Gospel is the moment when the disciples ask Christ about sin. And his answer was very simple, but yet radical. There is no such thing as sin. And not in the way we've been taught. Not as a stain, not as an inherent flaw. There is nothing about being human that is wrong or shameful. Not desire, not the body, not our sexuality, not our wildness or our tenderness. Being human is not a punishment. Being human is the whole point. We are here to have a human experience. I've always said that. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're being human. We are this body with all this messiness and hunger and longings, and we are also a soul, spacious, eternal, luminous, bright. We are both, always both. And when I first encountered Mary Magdalene's voice, the true voice, the one that survived, it felt like I had finally found the church, the church I imagined as a young girl. So, a place where we aren't trying to rise above ourselves, but to come home to truly who we are. Yeah. Let's just take a deep breath here for a second. And just take a little sip of my tea. And if you don't have one, you might want to pause and grab one for yourself. Anyways, these teachings, they've stayed with me because I see again and again how many of us spend our lives trying to escape our humanness. Especially in spiritual spaces, there is so much emphasis on ascending, transcending, becoming enlightened, being above, being above our emotions, that feel that inconvenient pain. Yeah, but honestly, the truth is we came here to be human, to feel it all. We're multifaceted. We are here to feel the ache. We're here to experience joy, heartbreak, confusion, clarity, grief, wonder, love, passion. We're here to live the whole spectrum. The people who struggle, I find, the most are the ones trying their hardest to avoid their own humanity. But when we finally soften into it, when we stop running from parts of ourselves we've been taught to hide, something opens. The heart opens. Compassion opens. Life opens. And it makes me wonder if no one had ever handed us the idea of sin, if we had been raised to believe that being human is sacred and not flawed, what our world might have looked like. If women's voices were heard, what would the world look like? How much more space might have been made for forgiveness, connection, compassion, empathy, love, kindness. Something to think about. There is this legend about Mary Magdalene that says she was lifted by angels 7 times a day while living in a cave in southern France. This cave is called Le Saint Baume. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but that's the cave. And I would love to go to that cave. That is on my bucket list. And this cave was a refuge after her persecution, a place where she prayed, taught, healed, and listened. And there's this imagery, pictures of, or paintings of her and these angels lifting her. But now, the story is changed for many when they view it in a different way and view it from the eye of their heart. That these angels are not only beings with wings, but they are thoughts that arrive like light. Sometimes they are memories that lift us out of despair. Sometimes these angels are actual sensations, a shift in our energy, a sudden knowing that wasn't there before. Sometimes they're simply love moving through us. The angels lifting Mary might not have been literal. They might have been those moments when her heart refused to collapse under the weight of the world, when her inner knowing rose up to meet her, carrying her back toward goodness, back towards God, or whatever you want to call it, back toward the truth she held within. The soul speaks in those lifts, in those sudden openings, those quiet shifts back into the heart when we least expect it. And after reading about that and that different way of looking at the angels, lifting them and thinking about it might be your own soul lifting you. It made me think of my own experience that I now recognize what I thought was an angel, but it might have been my own soul rising to save me. When I was a young woman, very young woman, new young woman, I fell into a deep, dark depression. I reached a point where I no longer wanted to be here. And I have talked about this in one of my podcast episodes, and I can't remember what it's called, but I'll link it here. But I remember standing in the shower one day, and the water turned cold. I was in there for a while, and I was crying, and just felt like I couldn't breathe anymore, and thoughts were spiraling out of control. And I reached a moment where I contemplated ending my own life, and something inside of me cracked open. It wasn't a vision, it wasn't a booming voice, but something within me just said, help. I felt it. I just said, help. And in that moment, I felt something wrapping their arms around me, a warmth, a presence, a feeling of being held. And at that moment, I thought of it as an angel. And I talked about this angel holding me and saving me. But now, with this new view of the eye of the heart, thank you, Mary. And when I look back through the teachings of Mary's teachings, through the lens of Mary's teachings, I see that angel as both something within and beyond me. My own soul rising to meet me. My heart refusing to let me fall. An angel can be a being, and an angel can be a presence. An angel can be the part of your spirit that remembers the truth, even when you cannot. This might be a good spot for you to pause and maybe journal or reflect on your experience. Think of a moment where you felt heavy or in the dark, and what happened in that moment that lifted you, even just a little. Was it a thought, a person, or a memory, or something deep within you? Maybe how might you name or recognize the angel that met you there? So pause here and take a moment and do a little reflection. Okay. Good. So let's return to darkness. Darkness is the place of beginnings. The womb, the soil, the cave, the quiet doorway we have all passed through again and again and again. It is not evil. It's not a sin, but a fertile mystery where all things are conceived. Mary Magdalene teaches that darkness is not to be feared, but to be honored. It is the first of the 7 powers, not a punishment, but a threshold. Darkness invites us to rest, to turn inward, to surrender control. It asks us to trust that even when we cannot see the path, life is stirring within. In our culture, darkness is often misunderstood. We are taught to chase the light, to avoid the shadows, to busy ourselves, to do so that we do not feel what the silence holds. But Magdalene calls us back to the truth, that darkness is sacred. It is safe. It is where the seed cracks open, where the transformation begins, where we meet the unseen parts of ourselves and remember we are whole. Darkness whispers, be still. Rest in the mystery. Trust what you cannot see. This power reminds us that the path to awakening does not bypass the shadow. It moves through it to heal, We must not run from our darkness. We befriend it. We let it teach us, shape us, and reveal the hidden light within. My depression never fully left. I learned to sit beside it, to listen to it, to befriend it. Darkness then is both the first power and the first gift. It prepares us for all that follows, holding us in the deep truth that going further up is going farther in. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a guided meditation entering the cave of darkness. So if you are driving, I invite you to stop, pause this, and do this later. But if you have a moment, I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze and allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. Take a long, slow breath in and a steady breath out. Feel the chair, the cushion, the earth beneath you, supporting you completely. And with each inhale, invite calm into your body. And with each exhale, let go of all that isn't serving you. Breathing in and out in a soft, gentle flow. You may want to bring awareness to the crown of your head. And as you breathe, allow a wave of relaxation to flow down, softening your forehead, loosening your jaw, melting through your shoulders, and feel this wave travel down your arms, into your chest and belly, down into your hips, your legs, and all the way down into your feet. Your whole body is soft, it is safe and at ease. Now with your breath steady and your body resting, imagine yourself standing before the entrance of a cave. The air is cool. The ground beneath you is solid. The cave is dark, but it doesn't frighten you. It calls you inward. Take a step inside, and with each step you feel you leave behind the noise of the outer world. Deeper and deeper you walk, until all around you is darkness. This darkness is not empty. It is full. Just like the cave I entered in Ireland, where dark was alive with presence. This darkness too holds you gently. The womb of creation, the soil rich with new life, the mystery that holds all beginnings. You feel this stillness, the quiet hum of possibility. Here in the cave of darkness, you are safe. You are held. You are becoming. Whisper inwardly, I am safe in the dark. I am held by mystery. And as you rest here, notice what arises. Perhaps it's stillness. Perhaps it's presence. Perhaps it's simply the warmth of being embraced. Now within this cave, notice a small spark of light. It flickers steady and true. This light is your own, the flame of your soul, the eye of your heart. It glows brighter, illuminating the walls of the cave, reminding you that even in darkness, the light has always been within you. Take a breath into this flame. Feel it expand through your chest, through your whole body, and out into our circle, connecting with the lights of every soul here. Rest here for a moment in the cave, in the darkness, in the glow of your inner flame. Good. Take one more deep breath. And exhale slowly. And when you're ready, begin to return, bringing the stillness and the spark with you. So be it, and so it is. You can gently open your eyes, and if you happen to have some oracle cards or a tarot deck with you, within reach, or you can pause and go grab one. You might want to pull a card, maybe hold your question in your heart and ask what Mary Magdalene might have for you, what you may need to hear about darkness even more from your eye of the heart. Good. So as we close the circle, we honor the darkness, not as absence, but as a womb, as mystery, as the first quiet stirring of light. So take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Another inhale, steady and full, and then release anything that has grown heavy in your heart. Settle deeper into the sanctuary within you. You may want to place your hand or hands over your heart space. Feel your heartbeat, the ancient drum that has carried you through every lifetime, the rhythm that connects you to your ancestors, to Mary Magdalene herself. You may want to imagine a soft golden light blooming in your heart, the eye of your heart, opening like a rose at dawn. And let this light fill your chest, fill your belly, your mind, your whole being. And whisper after me, I see with the eye of the heart. I know with the wisdom of my soul, and I walk in love. Feel Mary Magdalene draw near, not above you, not outside of you, but within you. And her hand rests as well over your heart. And hear her whisper, you are whole, you are holy, you are loved. And let this love expand through your body, into your field, out into the other souls in our circle, to the ones listening from afar, and those who will come after us. And in this moment, there is no separation. We are in and with each other, one body, one remembering. Take another deep breath in, receiving, and exhale as an offering. And let's thank the directions and the realms around us. Center and self, we thank you. Above and below, we thank you. Northwest, south, and east, we thank you. The circle is open, but never broken. The eye of the heart guide us home. Voice of the soul rise within us. So be it, and so it is. Thank you for joining me. Blessed be, magical souls. Mwah.